Yeah, it's
Oh, there we go.
loading. Hey there, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Twigs and Rays. Got an exciting show for you today. As always, I am Jacob Golpali, joined by
Zach Rosen and
I'm here, Link,
and
Dan Savage from
and
New Wave
Link.
Hockey.
There we go. So, got an exciting agenda today. I'm going to start off with a mock draft because Link's got to head out through this, so we're going to cover that with him. And then later on, we'll get into some Olympics talk as well as the finals. So, Zach, if you want to kick us off.
give me a sec. Okay. Yeah. Starting with a mock draft, the order's fully set now. Number one, New York Islanders. Known this for months, at least who's picking one. Especially post combine, I think we know who the pick is at this point. It's Matthew Schaefer. I mean, what more needs to be said? Best player in the draft, highest upside in the draft. Has the upside.
player.
I think he's the best player, personally. I think his ceiling is it's so high, and Dobson and Schaefer as a pairing, you're set for decades.
See, I'm not arguing with the fit. The fit is like a glove in New York or the New York system. It's going to be fantastic for them. However, I do think we got to at least mention Michael Misa here.
Yeah.
I have him at the top of my draft board for obvious reasons. I feel like I think that he was transcended this year. I think I guess we'll talk about this in the next pick. Hagens is also in some consideration for this pick.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen. If they trade back, I don't think we're talking about trading the first overall pick. It's not going to happen. So,
no.
I mean, I will say, it's probably going to be Schaefer. Honestly, Jacob, there's no really objections, right?
No.
I've got Schaefer going one for the fit for sure.
Absolutely.
Jacob, you want to go for the Sharks?
Yeah, I'm gonna do two. Two, Misa. I don't think there's really any debates there, any arguments. He'll fit in great there. They're gonna have a ridiculous offensive unit for the foreseeable future. So, Misa number two.
It'll be interesting to see where they start him out, playing him. If they decide to roll him out as a 2C, or if they decide to maybe put him at the wing for a bit and have Will Smith develop more as a C. So
it's going to be crazy because they still don't have Musty, Holton, and Chernyshov, any of those guys up.
Yeah,
I think they'll get Haltonen up there.
I think there's a chance.
I don't think he's not gonna win a Calder. But going back to Misa, 134 points this season. 62 of those being goals. Like, you can't deny this guy. He's at the top of my draft board. I think you're getting a star in the NHL, no doubt, in this process. And I think this is the bow on top of the cap that is the end of the Sharks rebuild. So
you hope.
Yeah, you hope, but they put themselves into a really good position. They theoretically have their goalie of the future. They have some answers. They have some answers for the defense, but they now have their number one and number two centers, or number one center along with his number one wing. So there you go. We've discussed it. Let's move on. Let's keep it going. I'm at 3, right?
Yeah, you're picking for the Hawks.
So the thing is with the Hawks, there are like 4 credible picks here at 3. Me personally, I would go with James Higgins here every day. That's what I would do. But I'm not them, and what I think they're between 3 guys kind of on their board. You get the size and net front presence slash passing of a Porter Martone. You got an Anton Frondel, who's a electric scoring center, who they kind of already have in Connor Bedard. And then they have Caleb Denoye. Now, I'm kind of in between Porter Martone and Denoye here. But for some reason, it's kind of sticking with me that they're not going to really prioritize this great run of playoffs that Denoye just had, and they're going to go with Martone number 3. I like Martone. I really do. He's someone that if he falls to the Flyers, I would be absolutely more than okay with taking. I think he's got a lot of skill in his upside. The passing game is really, really tight, especially for a winger.
Yeah.
But a lot of the criticism that we've heaped upon Porter Martone, I feel, has been kind of a mischaracterization of what his role is going to be at the next level. And I think that role that he's going to play is absolutely going to be right up there with Connor Bedard. You're hoping this guy is going to be the foible to Bedard's game at the next level on the first line. That's what you're hoping this is going to be. And I think if that's what you're drafting for, instead of looking for a 2C in Frondel or Denoye, I'd go that way. Personally, I'd take Higgins for a lot of reasons, but I don't think it's worth going into Martone at 3.
There's also like you could already say they might have their 2C of the future in like a Frank Nazar.
It's a good point too. So I think wing they
With
might
how-
be looking at wing.
With how Nazar looked at the World Championships after the Hawk season end, he looked incredible. So obviously not trying to judge too much off one tournament, but like he's great. And they recently extended Donato to a 4x4, which is really decent work, even though he had an insane shooting clip this year. So I'm up with the Mammoth. There's 3 guys here. There's a lot of smoke around Brady Martin here. Like, I like Brady Martin. I don't like him at 4. Which I think is, yeah. And then the other 2, Higgins and Denoye. I think I'm going to take Denoye here. I love Caleb Denoye. Great 2-way centerman. Played the entire year with 2 broken wrists, which I find crazy. Or at least, well, not the entire year, but a lot of the year.
At least sprained.
Yeah, and like imagine what he can do healthy. I think that's my big thing as well. Like with how he looks, imagine what he can do healthy. And he plays a very responsible game, 2-way game. All right, like he could be your 2C of the future because I think Tej is very much a lock to be more of a winger. He can be your 2C to Logan Cooley. And I mean both are really good both ways too, which I think doesn't get talked about as much with Cooley anymore. So
Perfect.
Jacob, you're
So
up.
I'm on with Nashville. So you left me Frundell and Higgins, right? So I'm probably going to take Frundell. I'm a huge Higgins
Jesus
guy.
Christ.
I don't know. I mean, I
Kind of
think
fits what they like more. Anyway,
what is
like
that?
for what Frondell kind of fits what Nashville has
That's
more
what
of.
I'm thinking. Exactly. And then also
they have a bigger guys like a Ryan O'Reilly.
Yep. Yep.
They just
they drafted guys like Wood. They've got, they got someone else, I forget. But
Sharon.
yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Frundell. Big, strong guy. I'm a big fan of his game. I think he's a safe pick. I think he's got a hell of a shot from that side. And they got who's on the other side? Is it Kemmel, right? They've got Kemmel on the other side, Frundell on one side, and who's probably going to be running the point, either like for the future, Molendyke. Yeah. So I mean, I'm going to take Frundell. I think that's a good fit there. But I love Higgins. I do love Higgins, and that doesn't mean I don't love Higgins. So
the thing is with here is I don't think that I don't think Higgins gets past Utah and Nashville. If Higgins gets to Philly, by the way, I'm taking Higgins. If I haven't made that clear, if he gets past Nashville, I think that's horrible for Nashville. I think that Nashville is probably going to take best player available. They're kind of hoping for whichever center falls, and whether that's Frundell if he falls to them, whether that's Denoye if he falls to them, they're just going to take whoever is there and who they can do they can do the best with. I think that would be Higgins. It's a new regime. Hoyle's gone, so this is a Barry Trotz pick. He's never picked this high. So it's hard to really. I mean, if you want to gauge this off of them picking Shurin last year, to be my guess, that's fine. But Philadelphia will take James Higgins. This is the guy we've wanted all along. This is the guy that I was hoping that we stayed in the vicinity of the top 4 to get. But no, this is exactly what I wanted. I think James Higgins is the best playmaker in this draft. He's, in my opinion, the best skating forward in this draft. I think he's going to shock a lot of people this year. I don't understand why people are underwhelmed by a point per game season by an 18-year-old in college. It baffles me. He's the second youngest player to be point per game ever in college, to our Macklin Celebrini of last year. So I think right there, you've got somebody who is going to be a bona fide Matvey Michkov feeder. So that's what you have day one. He will go back to college, I believe.
Yeah.
He will win the Hobie Baker. He'll be in the starting lineup for 2026, 2027. That's what I see out of Higgins. Please give him to me any day at 6.
All right, I'm up with. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I just said fair enough.
Yeah, I'm up with Boston. I think this might not be but it's a pick I've seen. I think they're gonna go center. I think they're gonna go Jake O'Brien. I mean, they need centers, and it's more of a need, but like obviously you don't draft. I feel like you don't draft need as high, but Jake O'Brien's just really good. Very smart player. They need center in their pool. Like Dean Letourneau had a rough year, and you're kind of hoping for a breakout year from him this year. Jake O'Brien also feels pretty safe. Very smart player. Very crafty playmaker. I think there's a ton to like with his game and like what it could be. Yeah, I really like Jake O'Brien.
He's fantastic. I'm a little inclined to like favor in terms of just seeing how Don Sweeney leans. I feel like McQueen and Martin are in play here. Martin especially. It's hard to see him get past 7. But O'Brien was very, very in my range at 6. He's somebody, if the Flyers take him, I'm jumping for joy because I think he's going to be the best power play player out of this entire draft. He knows how to distribute the puck very well in the power play. Very deceptive hands. Just got to get the skating down, but I love it.
Yeah. All right, Jacob, you're up with Seattle.
Kraken. Yeah. Next is the Kraken. I mean, I'm juggling between a bunch of names here, but I'm probably going to go
deep.
Brady Martin. I'm probably going to go Brady Martin.
Ooh.
I
can see that.
I feel like a defenseman would be a good pick, but I'm a huge fan of Brady Martin, and I don't see him falling out of that category. I feel like he's right there in that range, and yeah, I'm probably going to take Brady Martin.
Maybe
player. Not for the fit, but
yeah.
But for the skill.
Violent player, farm tough.
Yeah, I like a defenseman pick here. I think Seattle really missed out last year by I think Seattle really missed out by not taking a defenseman last year. That was their shot, and now they have a forward heavy draft.
They should have taken Perrick last year.
Yeah, Perrick or whoever, just not a Catton hot take. No, I think Murtka is a obviously he literally played junior in Seattle. I think Jackson Smith is definitely in play if they want some high upside at that pick. I think Jackson Smith is in the running for 4 and 8, and then kind of anywhere else after that. So we'll figure it out. At 8, you guys have not left me with a lot of options here.
We're at 9.
Buffalo at 9. So I have a preferred player that I like here usually, but that's also considering that 2 players that are still on the board aren't on the board. So
I think I know where you're going.
I'm between 2 guys right now. And one of them was Roger McQueen. Kevin Adams needs to take a big swing. You need somebody who is going to be that guy in your system. I can see Roger McQueen falling here. Great player, tremendous player, a lot of upside. He performed everything at the combine, so I'm willing to say, hey, I'm willing to ignore the injury bug. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be like a Lindstrom thing. But that all being said, there's an obvious hole on the right side of their defense. They have a lot of left defense, and they need to address that. He may not be NHL ready now, but I feel like he is the closest of the defensemen left to being NHL ready, and that is going to be a Radim Murtka. Yeah. Logan Hensler is also in this area too. If you don't want to take another left defenseman in Jackson Smith, I love Murtka. I really do. I think he's a fantastic rush defender. What he did with the puck this year He was very confident. He was given 28 minutes a night. He was given
Mhm.
top power play minutes for just a kid who's 6'6" and can skate honestly pretty solid. Played some hard minutes in the Czech league. There's not a lot that this guy has not been trusted with. He is a little raw, but his entire game is about shutting you down and outskating you for a big man, so which I really like. We'll see what type of defenseman he turns into, but he's got a lot of upside. So I think it's safe to take Mirka here at 9.
Yeah, and pairing that with either a Darlene or a Power, like that would be just a great fit. I'm up with Anaheim. This is tough because there's a few guys I'm considering here. I'm gonna go Victor Eklund.
Changes my
Awesome
mind.
player. Plays at least heavier than he is. 161. He's definitely heavier than. It feels like he's heavier than that.
He's 162, 169 at the combine. What he weighed at, and that's all muscle, by the way.
Yeah, very skilled, high motor, has a really good physical game. He'll be at least a top 6 guy. He's got great vision as well. Like, there's a lot.
I think
with Victor.
I think you're missing his skill play. He's a very solid skill player.
Yeah,
I will go to bat for him and say he's going to be the best Eklund in his family.
I guess so,
by far.
I think they both have similar ceilings.
He's a better skater, in my opinion. He's a better passer, and where Will was not that great of a defender, Victor is wow. Just all I need you to see is his World Juniors tape, and that would be enough to sell me to draft him top 6.
By the way,
which is
sorry, it lines up perfectly with the next pick. Who's picking the next pick? So I did not mean to do that.
What do you mean? Oh yeah.
I did not mean to do that at all.
I'm gonna take Jackson Smith here. I think the Penguins, we do not have a really good offensive threat from the point, and I think he's just an all-around fantastic player. Would love to, honestly, best player available for the Pens, but he honestly, in my opinion, is the best player available right now here. And we need a defenseman, so if this is how the board shakes out, I think this is a fantastic pick.
Yeah, I mean, if you're picking here with how the board has fallen, there's like 2 guys you debate between.
Yeah. I'm taking Jackson.
I think both would be awesome for the Penguins. Like, it's either Jackson Smith or a guy like Roger McQueen. Like,
I love that. I thought you already picked McQueen. No,
McQueen's not off the board. No.
Oh.
Luckily, I'm picking next, and you guys are
probably going to get Jackson.
Gee, I wonder.
I'm still going to stick with him, even knowing that.
My only issue with Smith here would be Owen Pickering looks pretty solid, and he's a left shot.
Yeah.
Offensively, no, though.
I
don't like it at all.
Look, that's fine. I don't think you drafted Owen Pickering for him to be a fucking offensive defenseman. Sorry.
Nah.
Yeah, so, I agree with you. That's why I like
Kyle Dubas will take the New York Rangers pick at 12.
You think so? Okay.
2 picks because this is going to.
When can that even happen? I don't even know.
I don't know. I'm just assuming that they're going to say we're keeping our 2026 pick. I'm just saying that they're going to do that because that's the sane thing to do if you're the Rangers. That being said, at 12th overall, falling in my opinion too far, Roger McQueen lands here. Dubas needs to take a swing. Crosby is not going to be there for a long time. You need to take swings. You needed to evaluate players, and you have 2 high upside, high risk players in Smith and McQueen here. These are exactly the players that you should be drafting in this situation. There's no safety that you need to be concerned about. You're not trying to round out a core. You're trying to find guys that can be the futures of tomorrow. And I think drafting Smith and McQueen here are exactly the swings that Pittsburgh needs to take. McQueen has excellent skating for a 6'5" player. Not even for a 6'5" player. He just for a player in general, he's a really solid skating stride. I really like his stick handling, his IQ and passing. Some of the most underrated parts of his game. Imagine if Tage Thompson was more of a playmaker. That's kind of where I view it here.
Yeah.
You're looking at more of like a Quentin Byfield type player with Roger McQueen. I love him so much. He's going to be so great if he can just develop. And I would hate for it to be across the state. But yeah, Pittsburgh. Takes
Well,
They
forever.
haven't. They're
Love
high. They did hire a guy who's going to help with the development, and Dan Muse. That was the big
Yeah.
part. They hired a guy like Dan Muse instead of going with a retread. So I think that's the right kind of call there.
There you
So
go.
it'll be interesting. Also, shout out Nick Bonino, assistant coach.
yeah.
That'll be fun. I am up with the Detroit Red Wings. They've kind of gone for like the same mold of player last few years in terms of like what they're gonna be, and like maybe like middle six-ish type players. Well, maybe not Casper. He kind of actually was pretty good in his rookie year. Like when he got on that top line, he was dynamite. There's a few names I'm debating between here. I think I'm gonna take Justine Garbanot.
Okay.
Best player available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah. Great tools. Really good creator. Yeah. I mean, real great shot. I mean, his shot is really, really, really good.
It's by far the best shot in the draft.
Yeah. Top six upside, very clear. He has a lot more upside than what they've picked the last few years. And I feel like if you're Yzerman, you kind of need to go. Like he's gone for some swings. He went for Sider, which was a swing, and that turned into a really fucking good player.
I wouldn't even say that that Carbs is a swing here. Also, I think he just kind of embodies heart in general.
Well, I mean, in terms of upside,
yeah.
Instead of like what he's went for in the past few years, outside of a guy like ASP. Like
one thing I will mention here with Carbonneau, if you go back and watch any Blanville Boisbriand game this year, and one of the Blanville players gets a dirty check from behind, or they get into a fight or a scrum, Carbonneau's coming over the boards, and he's going to punish whoever the hell laid the hit.
I love those type of
He's
players.
a team player.
I love that.
He's a guy that's going to be a pest and one of the best shooters in the NHL one day.
Yeah,
so
be a good
put your mind on that.
They need to go for a type of player like that, the more high upside, instead of he's going to be a middle sixer like an Nate Danielson or like an MBN. Like I was not a big fan of the Danielson pick. I mean, sandpaper player. So Michael Backlund 2.0 probably. But Carbonneau's great. Carbonneau's fucking awesome. Jacob, you are up with the Blue Jackets first pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Lyndon Lakovic here. Big 6'4" kid. They can give him time to develop. They've got a young team. They didn't look too bad this year. And honestly, he's just gonna be a guy who can take his time and develop without, really feeling the pressure of being having to be thrown in there. But I think he could be a fantastic player. And yeah, I mean, Columbus, in my opinion, is one of those teams that can afford him that time to develop, and I love that. So I'm going to take Lakovic.
I think with Columbus this year, they finally found like what their core is going to be
exactly
forward. Like they're not as pressured to draft a core player in this year's draft,
right?
And instead of previous years, I think drafting here is like a big relief for them as well, not having to find that player.
Sure.
I've kind of stressed that Columbus might need defense at this position. They have a really solid, sneaky good defensive prospect core.
For sure.
I think people don't really realize that. They did trade Jiricek, but they have some guys that I feel like can still slot in.
Matejchuk,
but
Matejchuk, Coolmans.
You know who else needs some? You know who else might be picking D in this draft? The Vancouver Canucks. And that's exactly what I'm going to go. That's the direction I think I'm going to go with them. I think this year was really hard for them. And picking at 15 sucks, kind of just with how everything's been going on. Yeah. I can see forward here, but at 15, you cannot take that swing because it's really hard to do so. It really is hard to do so. So why not make it easier? Go for a guy who was a very stable defenseman this year, racked up not a ton of points, but showed that he was clutch and stable in those minutes. The Big Ten note. Give me the right-hander, Logan Hensler. A lot of people criticized a lot of the 6 underagers who went to the NCAA this year, and Hensler was one of them. And that was because, he was an offensive defenseman at the NTDP. Why is he not scoring a ton of points?
NTDP is different than NCAA.
Exactly. He's 6'2". He's still finished with 13 points this year. I think he was just ahead of Boumediene for defenseman scoring by an 18-year-old. And he was well ahead of Rayon Mullen. I think he was third behind Potter and Higgins. This guy still is a player. He can still shoot, and he is, in my opinion, he was the best skating defenseman in the NCAA. He was second to Potter and, best skating defenseman. Okay, hold on. Of the underagers, of the 18-year-olds that were there, he was the third best skater behind Potter and Higgins. He was the best skating defenseman of the underagers. He controls the blue line, and that's what Columbus will need. That's what Vancouver will need as they try to ship off parts and try to kind of recoup what they had last season. So
attempt to please Quinn Hughes. I think that's the biggest part.
That's another big thing too. I will say this: I think they're a trade down candidate as well.
Yeah.
Ravensburgen or Andreanov could be a hot commodity for them. So if they want to trade back later into this round before Philadelphia and Nashville, I can totally see it.
I think they're straight just trade out of the first round candidates just so they can get a difference maker on their team.
You never know with them. So.
Yeah. I'm up with the Habs first of back-to-back picks. I feel like this one's kind of set in stone a bit. I've seen this one so many times. Carter Bear. I mean, I've seen it too many times to not pick it. Hard worker, gritty. I'm not the it's intense competitor. I'm not the biggest fan of him, but I just think it's gonna happen.
I'm not a big fan. I think I've made that clear.
Yeah.
To me, it's hard to justify picking him this high. I don't think has the high offensive upside that many people, elite prospects are projecting. I don't think he's going to pair well with a guy like Demidov or Hage.
At best, you're getting a Zach Hyman type player.
No.
And I mean Toronto Hyman.
The thing is, because Zach Hyman always had the skating ability. I don't think that Bear has that skating ability.
You know what I mean? Like a grittier...
You're getting someone who's going to be nails for sure. Yeah. Carter Bear is going to play some hard minutes in the NHL. It's just a matter of how many hard minutes will we be playing in the NHL, because I don't think he's going to earn that with his scoring. So we'll see.
Yeah. Jacob, you're up with the second of the Habs picks.
Second of the Habs picks. I don't know if this is off the board for you guys a little bit, but I think, they take Carter Bear there, but I think they're going to swing for Jack Nesbitt. That's going to be my pick here. I think Jack Nesbitt, they have the time, a lot like I just said with Columbus. I think that they are one of those teams that they just had a fantastic year this year. Their guys are young, still developing. They can afford to give players time to develop. And I think Jack Nesbitt, in my opinion, I don't know if that's off the board for you guys, but that's what I like there.
It's off the board for me. He's hovering around just outside of my first round. I still like him. I think you've got someone who can skate really well. But again, I would love to see more engagement. He kind of Big Four, which he was one of the big four there at Windsor this year. Obviously, there's a big one that is Liam Greentree and Protus.
He was so good.
I think he kind of fell behind a guy like Ethan Belchitz this year, a little bit. Not necessarily in kind of points production wise, because he was still a great point producer. I just think that Ethan Belchitz played a bigger role than he did. When he got those minutes. I still like Jack Nesbitt. I think he's a guy to absolutely take a swing on, but I get worried sometimes with some of the stuff that I see. So
that's fair.
I think a few other guys they could consider here, like say they take Carter Bear first. Like
I like a defenseman here. Or
I like a guy like Cam Reed here.
I was thinking Aitchison.
See, those are all left-handed guys.
Right.
They're screaming right-handed.
Yeah, but
right.
Look at their other lefties. They don't have like more physical.
Look, I'll be the first to get in line and criticize the Montreal defense core all night Trust me.
Grr.
But I think Blake Fiddler's a good fit here too.
Yeah.
Just in general,
I
because
don't
if we
hate
talk about
that.
swings, I like him too. But I think
Or Sun Legend.
yeah, Calgary here, they took Zane Parekh last year. No secret. I still feel like they need a guy who is going to be a really solid forward for them. They need a forward, and they need someone who can really produce, someone who can be able to bring some star power to their lineup. And I was hoping that a guy like Lyndon Lakovic could drop here. Justin Carbonneau, I've seen drop here at some points. But I kind of look at one thing from last year that I had in my notes because I had them drafting TJ Ginla last year. And it's
Yeah. So did I.
in my mind, it was kind of just Malcolm, not Malcolm. In my mind, I said Wyatt Johnston for them because I feel like that's a guy that if they can add, that would be fantastic for them. And originally, I had Malcolm Spence here, and he's ahead in my board. I love Malcolm Spence, but I don't think Malcolm Spence is going to go as high as people, as high as I rate him. So I think they're going to, in my opinion, this is a little bit of a reach, but at 18, I think the Flames are going to take Braden Coots with this pick. I think you get a
like
really
that.
solid skater.
Really?
I like
I think
it.
you get
No, I
someone
like
who
that.
there are shades of Matthew Barzal. There is a very, very hard worker here. There is someone who can cover a lot of ice. I think he needs to round out his defensive game, and I think he needs to round out some offensive habits. But you've got a great shot. You've got a really solid puck carrying ability, and I think you have somebody who has the potential to really develop and blossom in the offensive zone. So he didn't put up immaculate numbers this year that will blow you away, especially in the WHL. It's also because Seattle was not an amazing team this year.
Mhm.
But I think Braden Coots, he's been surprising a lot of people. He's even been surprising me, and I kind of can't wait till he commits to an NCAA team. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I've had one pick locked in. I've had one guy locked into the Flames at least first pick for a while, so I'm actually kind of surprised by that. Okay, I'm up with the Blues. There's a few directions I'm debating on. There's a few directions I'm debating on here. They need a really good right shot in their system. But I mean, there's a few defensemen left. I could go here. I think I'm gonna go forward instead. There's two I'm debating between. They don't really have. I think I'm gonna go. Type it up. I think I'm gonna go Malcolm Spence here. Smart winger, smart, disruptive, feisty. Yeah, pro style already. I think he's going to translate very well into the NHL. Feisty player. I think he's
also
a player
someone who
they
can take over
kind of
games.
need. Yeah, he's a player they kind of need. They don't really have that kind of guy in their system around their team. I was debating on either Reed or Aitchison here as well. The one guy I've had kind of locked into the Blues for a while now is Logan Hensler, but obviously he's off the board. So,
I think he's going to go higher.
So yeah.
So I had Blue Jackets taken. I don't even remember.
Oh my god, I didn't realize you have both.
All right, I'm gonna take this guy because he's dropped this far, and in my opinion, I think this is crazy. I'm gonna take Aitchison here. Aitchison here. I can't believe he's fallen this far. I love Aitchison. I love everything about his game. I think it's going to translate well and more. I think he's going to be a versatile guy that you can throw up and down your D-core depending on what you need, who you're playing. I think he can provide a spark in every way, defensively from a big hit, scoring a big goal, making a big play. I think that is something that I don't see why. I mean, obviously we all had reasons why we picked, but him falling this far, I got to take him here. Got to take him. If they already had a pick earlier, I think they got to take a shot here with this guy. I like him.
Here's the Kayshawn Aitchison signed puck, by the way.
Oh,
that's dope. I love that.
Fucking sick.
I've been waiting for one of you guys to take him because there
Yeah.
were a couple places where I considered him, especially
That's
at the
where I, me too.
I was gonna take if you took Hensler with the Columbus's first pick, I was gonna take him in Vancouver.
Mhm.
But great, obviously you're getting Lakovic and Aitchison, two tall guys. One of them can hit, and he's smaller. So I really like Aitchison. A lot of goals. You get goal scoring. You get big hitting. This is Stian Solberg with way more defensive awareness. I love it. So that's kind of where I'm
I
at
wasn't the
with this.
biggest Stolberg guy last year either.
Yep.
I think the pick that's kind of been like, hey, they might take him is Josh Ravensburg, and I think that's probably another option for them. It'll be interesting.
Not
to see
this
how it
high.
goes.
Not this high. I don't think there. I personally don't think there's going to be a goalie that goes in the first round.
I think there's a chance.
There's a chance.
There's a
I
lot
don't
of
think
teams
there's
that
going to
need
be.
it. There's a lot of teams that could really use him.
There was. I mean, look, it could be a weak year like 2021 where you need one and you just fish for them. So I don't know, because Sebastian Kosa, was he a first rounder? Deservedly, I didn't think so. But that is water under the bridge. Let's move on to 21. Ottawa. And I'm between two guys here. One, I'm hoping he doesn't fall this far because I like him a lot. And the other one, which I think if Malcolm Spence is off the board, I'm taking Bill Zonin here. Oh wait, Malcolm Spence is off the board, right?
Yes.
No, I was gonna take him next. So, you get him. Go ahead, take him. I was gonna get him at.
Did you guys just? Well, I swear to God, did you not?
I
just
took
take
Spence
Malcolm...
with the Blues. I took Spence with the
I
Blues.
took Aitchison. So
okay, so then give me Bill Zonin because I think there's nobody who the Senators don't need anyone else more than they need Bill Zonin right now. He's a center who gives you a 200-foot game right now. Where he lacks in skating, he makes up for it in probably the third best effort in this entire draft. It's not even close. He's been taking a lot of draws as center. He's a guy who I can see you plugging in as a third line center and an effective third line center who could transform into like a Charlie Coyle like player where you get nails out of this guy every single time. And at 21 in this kind of a draft, I'm taking that every single time.
Yeah.
The offensive upside does scare me, but I've seen some passes that have genuinely made my jaw drop for what he can do. And he can still sling the puck pretty solidly. So give me Bill Zonin here. I think it's exactly what Ottawa needs. They're these two guys I podcast with sometimes that love those two guys, the puck bunker boys. So Bill Zonin here would be great.
Good player.
I like it.
I'm up with the Flyers at 22. There's two guys I'm debating between.
I'm gonna critique you. I'm gonna critique you no matter what you say. So
you
go
son
ahead.
of a bitch.
Crazy.
You son of a
bastard. I've got two guys, and if you don't take one of them, I'm gonna be mad.
Fuck me.
No pressure, eh?
Yeah. Shut up. There's two guys I'm debating between here. One of them is a defenseman. I think it's kind of criminal that Cam Reed's kind of fallen this far. I know they have a lot of left shots already in Cam York and Travis Sanheim.
Emil Andre.
Huh?
Emil Andre.
Yeah, him. Yeah, I forgot about Emil Andre. Fuck. Yeah, I'm gonna take Cam. Also with Cam York, like there are some rumors around him there. So I don't know. I like Cam Reed. Play driving D-man. Has high-end offense. Needs to get a bit better defensively, but I like him. I was debating. There's a lot of teams that could have used him up the board a bit. Montreal, Columbus. So
he's a guy that I do like Cam Reed. I think there's something you can get out of Cam Reed. But you need to understand what he is fundamentally as a prospect. And he's 6 foot and he's a left shot. And he's an offensive defenseman who didn't score a point per game in the OHL. And that it worries me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I don't think the Flyers are gonna take him because they didn't take Zeev Boyum last year.
I agree, yeah.
Because they were worried about having too many left shot defenseman,
Yeah.
offensive defenseman in their system. They trust York. They literally fired a coach for York, so I think
Mhm.
York is going to stay. If it
Is
were
that
me,
the
I
big
would take,
reason?
No, I mean it wasn't, but like it's not part of it.
Yeah,
it
good
was.
point.
I think it was very part. I think York is going to be an assistant captain soon if he stays, but I think he will stay. I like a guy like Cullen Potter. I think you need to take a swing on some skill. And that is
I like
absolutely the
that.
type of swing you
Big
take that.
Cullen
I
Potter
love
guy, yep.
Cullen.
So if you guys let Colin Potter slip to me, whoever I have, I might take him there. But also
enough.
Milton Gasserine has been mocked here a lot. I think he's fantastic,
Mhm.
and I also like Blake Fiddler here too because why not?
There's a reason I kind of wish the Stars kept their pick, and he's one of them. Just for the connections, you know.
All right,
Jacob, you are up.
Well, I just realized I have 2 Nashville picks. So in honor of that, I'm gonna
Wait, Zach,
My-
do you have a
Get my
picture of the
hat
board
on?
real quick?
Huh?
Do you have a picture of the board that we've picked? so
Oh
far?
yeah, I've got a Google Doc pulled up.
Oh, sick. Is there any way you can share your screen? Because I want to know what we have picked. Because I don't want to pick.
I should have done that from the beginning.
It's all good.
got the hat on for the next 2 picks, boys.
Where's your
Yeah.
Jeannot jersey, eh?
What do you say?
Where's your Jeannot jersey?
Dude, I have it, bro. I need to get down to Nashville soon, man. I went to a bunch of country concerts and got this hat, so I'm gonna be rocking it for these next 2 picks here. Yeah, here for Nashville, I'm gonna go with a lot of the mold that we've been working with here. I personally am a huge fan of Malcolm Spence, and I'm gonna take him here. I'm gonna take a Malcolm.
He was
Spence.
already taken. No, that's the thing.
No,
That's why I
yeah.
wanted him to pull up. That's why I wanted him to
Wait,
pull
I
up the
thought
board.
we
Y'all
said
can
that he
see
took
it, right? I have no idea.
No, so
Oh wait.
Who took him?
present, go to present, go to share screen, and then you can pick
Yeah,
any of
hold
your
on.
tabs that you have open.
Sworn I did that. Okay. Is it working?
There it is.
There you go.
Oh
there
man, that
you
makes
go.
me so pissed. All right, hold on. Let me see this.
Oh fuck! I forgot
What
I
did we
line
take?
was up. Like, I took it with the Blues.
No. Oh, you did do that. Fuck. All right. All right.
There's still some pretty nails guys out there
There are, yeah.
There are.
of the American variety.
Merca.
I'm gonna roll Potter here. Then we didn't take Potter, right? Or am I tripping?
No.
Yeah. I'm gonna
good
take
pick.
Potter here. I like Potter a lot. I think him playing at ASU, obviously there were eyes on him, but I think a lot of people kind of underappreciated what he was able to bring because he wasn't in one of those top end NCAA teams that, went far and had a ton of eyes on him. But I love the guy's game. He was the guy down there and he made it look like it. I mean, I really like his game a lot. And I think, yeah, I don't even think that's a real swing in my opinion. I think he's a fantastic player. I was going to go Spence, but Potter is definitely my next pick there.
Yeah, I like this pick because, for what you said, I think he's got tremendous skating. He's a great puck carrier.
Oh yeah.
An insane shot too.
Mhm.
Really great skill player at 5'10". Of all the small guys that could get drafted, I think he's got the best chance of going in the first round and should be the one who goes first out of all of them. If Cameron Schmidt goes ahead of Colin Potter, I'm gonna rage.
Agreed.
So that's
Agreed.
also to talk about ASU. To talk about ASU, they played in the NCHC this year. That's where Denver plays. It's where Nordac plays. It's where Minnesota State plays. Minnesota Duluth, Omaha. All these teams are fantastic out there. Very fast. They play very fast out there. And Potter was arguably one of the fastest players in the entire NCAA this year. So I don't think his skating, once he gets out of the straight line skating, is perfect, but he's an insanely good skater. Very great skater for what you're getting. Moving on to the Kings. Look, I'm tempted to go 2 ways here. Obviously, skill could be a concern here because watching them through this playoffs, I think is very telling for what they're going to do. They might sell this pick for something. I think there's going to be a lot of picks that might get traded. This might be one of them. But looking at what they did this year, looking at kind of how they bowed out in the playoffs, you kind of have to realize something. The last few years, we've been emphasizing the Kings need to get more skilled. They need to be a team that is able
I-
to score better.
I was gonna say, I think they're gonna get one of the big wingers in free agency.
I know, but why not address that through the draft? I think they got their ass kicked by the Oilers. They need someone who can play the wall. They need someone who can be physical down the middle, and a playoff type player like Shane Van Saggy from Michigan State. I think he's a fantastic guy to take here. I would consider taking him with the Flyers 22nd pick. I love Van
Screams
Saggy.
king, bro. He screams king.
I think he could be a king. I would even say 24 might be one of the lower spots. He's going to go higher than a lot of people believe that he will in this draft. So be wary and just watch out for him because he's going to be really solid. So we'll see.
Good grip strength. He's got good grip strength from what I've heard. So, okay. I am up with the Chicago Blackhawks. They picked Frundell earlier. Fuck me. This is actually a tough pick. There's a few ways I could go here. Wow, I really don't know what to do. Shit.
Just don't take the guy I want, bro.
Yeah. I really don't know what to do.
You want to phone a
BPA.
friend?
BPA.
I think I'm gonna go. Where is he? I think I'm gonna go Ben Kendall.
Okay.
One of probably my favorite players in this draft. Just relentless player, great pace, great vision, good scoring. I think he's a very hard worker. They already have a lot of smaller forwards, which was kind of my hesitation for this because they already have guys like Bedard, guys like Nazar. So that's kind of my hesitation there. But I don't think you can really pass up on this guy. So
I like this pick.
Perfect.
I'm a big fan of Ben Kendall, and I
So
think the more skill you add on the wing, the better you're going to be.
Yeah.
And this is kind of where you add your skill. This is where you add your high IQ players, and Ben Kendall is absolutely that. So I love it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Blake Fiddler here for Nashville. 26. They need a right-handed defenseman. I think Fiddler can fit into a lot of different roles here, and I think he's a versatile guy that can kind of do whatever's needed here.
Especially with
He's a big right-handed
how-
defenseman. Yeah, what's up?
how good Nashville's defenseman
Development.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it here. All right, to link with Caps.
He's muted. Link, you're muted.
Oh, is he? Oh, he's muted.
I know.
Right.
I'm just keeping it chill. Did you write down who the Preds picked? Fiddler, right? Yeah, got that.
Fiddler.
So the Caps, time's running out. This might be Ovechkin's last year, and you kind of can't do anything about it with this pick, which is why I think they might trade this too.
Yeah.
They gotta get better. They've got to be a team that can be hard to play against in the playoffs. And with one of your players, Alex Ovechkin, probably not here when this guy gets to the roster, you kind of have to kind of look at this with we're going best player available, we're going with skill, or we're going to go with a very physical player. And I think they're going to err on the side of skill. And as much as it pains me not to take my boy Milton Gastrine here, I'm going to go with Alexander Zarovsky from Ufa, who has just been a firecracker this year for them in Ufa, in the middle of Russia, in a place that no one's ever heard of. He is very fast, and he can control the puck very well. Very great at zone entrances. He's someone that you can kind of coach into dumping the puck and doing whatever you need on his own entrance. I do believe this is a player that can be over in the NHL in 2 to 3 years. That's kind of how high I think of him. In terms of how effective will he be? Will he be an Anthony Duclair? Or will he be a, Kyle Connor type player who's underrated and taken lower in this tier? I don't know. So it's kind of hard to it's kind of hard to weigh that. And I think at 27, that's where you take a chance on this player, especially with their loads and loads of Russian prospect development that they've had. Not
Yeah.
just with Ovechkin, with like Semin, Miroshnichenko, who's about to debut in the NHL.
He's
Also
debuted already
Alexei.
before.
Well, he's gonna have
Get a
his rookie year.
full-time role.
You know what I mean?
Get a full-time role. Yeah. I'm up with the Jets. I'm just this is going to be a center. I'm going to go Cole Rushney here.
Oh,
I think you need to go center here. They need 2C really bad. Who knows if Brett Lambert will be that, but who knows if Braden Yeager will be that. I think you need to take as many shots at center as you can for them. I like Cole Rushney a lot. Very good open ice playmaker. Has a lot of skill. He's a really good playmaker. The skating is worrying a bit, but you can kind of compensate that with his skill. And I think you just need to take as many shots at getting hopefully a 2C as you can. So
yeah, that makes. I'm going to take Gastron. I'm going to take Gastron here with Eric
There you go.
Haynes. I think that's a fantastic pick for them. I think center depth. I think he's also a good fit, just play style wise. I think he'd be a guy that would make a good impact there. So center wise, I think they need it. I think. I really don't think there's much more to say. Yeah, he's a good fit in my opinion. They need a center, fantastic center, and him falling this far is honestly like kind of a steal for them. But yeah, take Gastron.
There you go. All right, so I'm left with the Sharks pick. This is my last pick of the first round. Now we're looking at Mike Greer and what he kind of his MO is in the NHL, and he is somebody who is not going to make a pick without making proper reasoning. Last year he took Chernyshov when he did. He took Sam Dickinson when he did. He'll take guys who are falling, and I don't think there's somebody here that's like a very obvious faller to me. I think he's going to go with a college player. I think he's going to go with another player who is college bound or will be in college. That's pretty it's a limited sample size, but he can go with one of his two Boston University kids, Sasha Boumedian or Carter Amico, two defensemen who I think would fit that system really well, especially Amico. But I'm actually going to go with someone who didn't play college hockey for the entire year, someone who joined halfway through the year, actually, in fact. Give me Will Horkoff.
Ooh, Michigan.
When he came over and started playing for Michigan, he was really solid. He can carry the puck. He can do some pretty interesting things, but you always have him as that role as a guy who can stand in front of the net, someone who can back check hard, who can play a big and physical game. Not like a Van Saggy, but he has more offensive upside. In terms of what he really can be, it's a little hard to project, but you gotta really give some credit to a guy who was looking a little sluggish around a not great USNTDP team, but then went to Michigan and looked infinitely better. He improved that team. So he rises up to the occasion. I think he's a guy that the Sharks should be prioritizing moving into this section. So, but yeah, I will shout out the guys that you haven't taken that are still in my top 32. And I'm just going to shout out just the two of them, Amico and East Wozniak.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Zach, another Flyers pick. I will be judging, so impress me.
One of those guys you just named is a guy I'm actually going to pick here. Give me Jacob East Wozniak.
God damn it.
Uh,
I like that.
Great shot. Great shot. His game did actually get better as the year went on, I feel like. Just overall great shot. I think he'd fit really well in Philly on like a second line role and PP1 trigger man. So
makes a lot of sense. I like him a lot. There's a lot of upside in this forward. You see how he got better throughout the year. there are still some habits that I think need to be coached out of this kid because the poor effort is still in his game. That's a little undeniable. But what he can bring to you, it's something incredible. So I think at 31, if they decide to keep this pick because they traded it last year instead of taking my boy Teddy Stiga, I think this is a good place for him to land.
I also think like Philly is a team is going to be willing to take their time with him.
Absolutely.
I think he needs to go to a team like that instead of a team that's looking to get guys up the pipeline as soon as possible.
They took Jack Berglund last year, and by all reports, I don't think this guy is going to even sniff a potential roster spot until he's like 23 or 24. So
great job, Danny.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what you're hoping for. You're looking for somebody who kind of can grow with some younger guys on the team. So we'll see what he can do. I like Jack Berglund. He's a second-round pick. I think staying with Swedes is a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, there were some other guys. I'm going to mention them once Jacob picks for the Flames. I was debating on picking.
I'm interested to see who he takes here because there's not a lot of people left on my board that you could take.
I don't like him going that this far personally, so I'm gonna take him. Boumediene.
Interesting.
I'm gonna take him here. I think he did really well relative to coming over here and playing in the NCAA, which is not easy, and he's not the biggest guy if I'm remembering correctly, right?
No, he's like around like 6'1".
Yeah, like he's not huge. I think
he might be 6'2".
I think his potential is really good. I like a lot of the things that he does, and personally, I couldn't see him fall out of the first round somewhere, so I'm going to take him here.
I will say, hold on, I'm actually pulling up his actual. He is listed at 6'1 3/4", so 6'2", and 184 pounds. I can see him falling out of the first round. I think the skating is an issue. You looked at what he did this year at BU, and I think that he did come over to the NCAA a little prematurely. I was expecting a lot from him because there's a lot of offensive upside here. He was a fantastic partner with Torrey Pittner last year. Fantastic with Youngstown. I think those two were fantastic. I think he should have gone over to Denver to pair with him right away, but he didn't, and we'll see what happens. I do like this pick, though. I have one defenseman over him, though, and it's somebody who's going to be playing with him at BU next year.
Gee, I wonder. And he just left.
Okay. I think he just got triggered.
Yeah. He'll rejoin. I think, I wonder. I wonder.
It's Carter Amico.
Oh, really?
Speaking of players, who is not in this top 32 that you want to mention that you think is like on the cusp?
I mean, probably the biggest wild card in the draft, Mason West.
I don't think he's a day one guy. That's the thing.
Yeah, I don't think he's not a day one talent, but from all the reports, it seems like he's the biggest wild card. Teams are going to be like, okay, when do we actually pull the trigger on this guy?
From what I hear from people who write about hockey, because I don't know any real scouts. Actually, I do know one, but he's for I'm not going to say the team.
Yeah, no.
But from what I hear, he is a guy that he is going to be playing football next year. He is technically finished his junior year of high school. He is going to be 18 in August, and he's going to go play. He's going to go to high school for his senior year. He's going to play football, and then he's going to join Fargo, and then he's going to pick a college team from there. He is somebody who will not touch the NFL, the NHL, NFL maybe. He will not touch the NFL, the NHL until he's minimum 23.
Who are we talking about?
Mason West.
Oh.
He's a project.
Yeah, but that's a lot of a project for someone who's 6'6". It's fine. So we'll see. I don't know if he's a day one guy. I think there's other guys that you can consider. There's some big bodies who I think have some offensive upside, and like Daniel Prokhorov, Eddie Jenberg, very high energy player. Nestor Seal. I always forget about him because he's really good. Hayden Papanekis and Matthew Gard are two Western League centers who could kind of stood out this year, and I think could be guys that people fall in love with. There are some more skill guys like Riker Lee, who's a very solid shooter. You got Jack Murtagh. You've got Cole McKinney.
HB could sneak in. Henry
Ooh, I'm a big
Kristevich
Cole
could
McKinney
sneak
guy.
in.
I'm a huge Cole McKinney guy.
I'm a big McKinney guy, but I find reasons not to put McKinney in the first round.
Wilmore,
Oh, I
baby.
agree. I
No.
think some team's going to get
No.
very, very,
See me winking.
very
Yeah.
blessed with him in the
Trolling.
second round. Some team's going to be
Um,
blessed with him in the second.
I mean, Henry Kristevich is a name.
You keep going on this Brstevich train. I'm not a big Brstevich guy.
I'm not
love
either,
Brstevich.
but I think there's a chance he's gonna be a first rounder.
I think he is.
There's a
Here's the
chance
thing.
based off need and lack of defense, but that's about the only thing I could see.
I
putting him in
think
first.
I do think the defensive depth is pretty solid in this draft. I think you've
It
got a
is.
guy like guys like David Bedkowski, you've got Kurban Limitov, Maxim Agafonov,
Simon Wang.
Roman Bausov, Simon Wang, Charlie
What
Trethaway
a
is someone
play,
who
that's the big
Charlie
one.
Trethway. I like that
Trethway.
one. as well.
Peyton Kettles. I'll even
Kettles.
reach. I'll reach deep for a guy like Max Sinichka, Daniel Skvortsov too. Maceo Phillips. He's not going to go in the first round, but he's someone that you can reach for. There's a lot that you can get out of this draft,
There is.
defensive wise. So I think if you want to go with forward, this might be a very forward heavy first round. So we'll see.
How many days
But-
out are we? We're like a week and a half out, right?
We are. I think 10 days.
Yeah, we're 10, almost 9 days.
9 days.
out.
We're 9 days. Yeah.
So a week and a half in LA. First and probably only decentralized draft. So that's pretty much what everyone's saying is this is probably going to be the only time it's decentralized. Thank God. I do wonder how many trades we're going to see because it was Drager who said the time between the draft and free agency. I mean the time between when the Cubs handed out and free agency is going to be nuts. And we saw a few trades today, but who cares?
My prediction is we're going to see another DeBrincat level trade. Remember when DeBrincat was traded for the 7th overall pick all
Yes.
those years ago?
Yes.
I think you're going to see something like that.
That'll be interesting. I mean, I don't know who that could be, but probably Peterka.
I think it would be someone going to Utah. That's where
Probably.
I think it is going to be a big trade up spot. They're very much in the running for Marner. If they want to get Peterka, it better be
They're going to be in
a
the
pick
running
swap.
for everyone. I mean,
It better be a pick swap. That's all I'll say.
I love JJ.
He's great.
So, yeah, thank you, Link, for joining us.
Yeah, of course, man.
I
Appreciate
do
it.
have to
Yeah.
depart, but thank you guys. I love participating in these, so appreciate it.
Absolutely.
night,
Link. Thanks
a
for
good one,
hopping
guys.
on, man.
All right.
All right.
Getting
So
in.
let's bang through these because I'm probably gonna head out in like 2015. So let's so we'll first go with the Olympics, right? You want to touch on that first?
Yeah, a few. All the countries announced their first 6 for the Olympics. Canada, McKinnon, McDavid, Reinhardt, Crosby, Point, and Cale Makar. Czechia, Pasta, Zaka, Natchez, Palide, Gudis, and Lucas Dostal. Denmark, Bjorkstrand, Jonas Ronberg, Eller, Ehlers. I don't know who that is. And Freddie Anderson. France, Pierre-Edouard Bellemare. I don't know most of these names. And Alex Texier. I'm only just going to list the NHLers at this point.
That's fine.
Finland, Aho, Rantanen, Barkov, Heiskanen, Lindell, Saros. Germany, Reichel, Sturm, Dry, Stutzla, Seider, Grubauer. Italy, the only name I recognize is Damien Clara. Latvia, Abels, Gergensons, Bluger, Balinskis, Merslikins, and Shovas. Slovakia, Pospisil, Tatar, Slavkovsky, Nemec, Chernak, Fervari. Sweden, Landeskog, Raymond, Nylander, Kempe, Dahlin, and Hedman. Switzerland, Fiala, Heischer, Meyer, Niederreiter, Yossi, Siegenthaler. And then the U.S., both Kachucks, Matthews, Eichel, McAvoy, and Quinn Hughes. I think the first obvious name not listed is JJ Peterka.
Yeah.
Apparently that's due to some contract stuff potentially, so that's why it wasn't one of the first names listed for them. But I mean, yeah. There's no other German goaltenders, but the fact that fucking Philip fucking Grubauer is going to the Olympics after his terrible play last few years, oh my god. What was I going to say?
It's the beauty of the Olympics, though.
I'm a big fan of Lucas Dostal. I love that he's on here. Very underrated player. Does not get talked about as much as he should. I think it's interesting that U.S. didn't name a goalie yet in the first six,
I feel
especially
like
after Hellebuck won the Hart. Like,
I don't think it's anything to be worried about. I'm pretty sure. I mean, their top two is locked in, so it's not really a big deal in my eyes.
I mean, from what it seems like, their top three is going to be the same as it was in the Four Nations. So
yeah, so I'm not too worried about that.
Yeah. Finland will be interesting. I mean, their defense is always going to just be hopefully Heiskanen and Esa Lindell carrying them, and then we'll see. It'll be interesting to see who else they name. I think a guy like A2 Luosterainen could be really good in an Olympic setting.
Yep.
Because he seems to be a guy that shows up in the big moments, especially what he did this year in the Cup Finals. Like, I mean, in the playoffs in general, he had the third most even strength points.
I wasn't a huge fan of him a few years ago, but yeah, I mean, he's changed my mind a lot. I think he's a fantastic player and he's a reliable guy, and especially for a team like this that's probably going to need a little bit more depth. I think he's a great guy for that.
Yeah, and he can play a physical game as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's going to be needed. Canada's defense is going to be interesting. I think there's a lot of other guys to consider. Pietrangelo, it does not seem like Pietrangelo. It's out there that Pietrangelo might not play again. So, which sucks to see. I mean, guy was a great defenseman for years.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. Bouchard, I think, is definitely going at this point. I think Thomas Harley is definitely going, especially after this year.
I think so?
Yeah. I think even after this year, even if he's just a seventh defenseman, like I think he's going. I really do. Who's I gonna say? There's always a chance they pick Drew Doughty. Always.
No.
Legacy. For the US, I mean, I would not bring Brock Faber after this year. I just would not bring Faber. They will because he has chemistry with Slavin, but I do not think they should break him. Sanderson, I think should, and if they do, Sanderson, I think should get the start over him. I think Sanderson is just much better at this point. It'll be a fun tournament. I mean, Olympic hockey is always fucking awesome. I think that's.
Yeah, I mean the Olympics. It's gonna obviously be a lot. It's gonna be very intense. It's gonna be a lot like the Four Nations, obviously, when it comes to intensity.
But on crack.
What is that?
But on crack.
Well, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna be something that a lot of people love. So I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah. Moving on, Cup final stuff. Some rumor stuff as well. I mean, congrats to the Panthers again.
Yep. Congrats.
I know that's like the most unenthusiastic, but like I was rooting for the Panthers. I had picked Cats in 6. Conn Smythe pick didn't go too well, but oh well.
I don't think many people had that hitting. So
when it was the Cup final, my prediction was okay. It's going to be Barkov, Conn Smythe. It's going to be Cats in 6. That didn't go well.
I was thinking towards the end, Marshy could have gotten it.
Yeah, I think there was a chance.
But Bennett was fantastic. I definitely don't hate that.
Bennett's gonna get paid.
There's a lot of guys that could have deserved it. Honestly, they had a contribution from the entire roster, so I wouldn't be mad either way it went.
Yeah, Bennett's gonna get paid.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
There's talks that there's gonna be a team that might offer him 10.
I heard someone saying that Toronto would be a good fit for him.
Apparently, there's a rumor that Sam Bennett doesn't want to go to Toronto, so we'll see there.
I wouldn't either.
If I'm him, I'm staying.
What cut are you going to take, though? What kind of a cut are you going to take?
I think they have enough space. Look.
Because I would want Marshy and Ekblad back too.
I mean, I think the big reason they got Seth Jones was because Ekblad's probably walking. I mean,
Yeah.
they have 19. They have 19 mil in space.
True.
I think Bennett's staying on an 8x8. I think that's the rumor right now. Is Bennett signs an 8x8. Marchand, there's a rumor out there that he also might get. Oh yeah, then you don't have room for Ekblad. That he might get 8 somewhere. So I think Marchand's going to Toronto. I really do. I mean, he's a type of guy they would need desperately. If they think they need a DNA change, he's a perfect guy for them. Ekblad, I think, is walking. Big reason you got Seth Jones was because, hey, you see that Ekblad's free agent. I mean, Seth Jones was pretty it's not going to talk about that. Seth Jones was really good in the Cup final.
Yep.
That was a shout out, Texas boy. Love it. Love to see it. The Cup will be in Dallas in some way. So
there you
go. Some other around the. I mean, it was a great Cup final overall. It definitely kind of flatlined a bit at the end. Edmonton needs a goaltender. I don't get how Stuart Skinner has made his career basically by beating Dallas and then looking like shit against other opponents, and then
pretty much, yeah.
He has like a 17 goal save above a positive 17 goal save above expected against Dallas, and like a negative 14 against the rest of the league. Like, I don't get how we make this guy look like fucking Dominic Hasek. Some news around the league. I mean, this is kind of the elephant in the room, considering I'm a Stars fan. DeBoer gone.
Tough one.
This coaching search has very much been Fort Knox. There's literally been like nothing heard at all outside of like the rumor that, hey, they interviewed 2 internal guys and we don't know much else. Which, I mean, my vote's for Neil Graham being the coach. If they can somehow lure David Carl out, please.
That'd be nice, huh?
Yeah, I mean, what situation gets better than this? Some of the other coaching hires, Dan mentioned this earlier, Dan Muse to Pittsburgh.
I like it.
More of a development guy, but
what we need.
We'll see.
David
Quinn gone too, which I think is a positive for the Penguins.
I liked what he did with our power play, but yeah.
He was your power play? I don't know. And then I think he is the power play coach with the Rangers now. And Mike Sullivan is a Ranger, which, I mean, best coach available. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what he does there. There's a lot of rumors circulating around the Rangers. Chris, and obviously without Chris Kreider there now, which it'll be interesting. I think their plan right now with Mika is they're going to staple him to JT Miller's right wing, and hopefully he regains his value. I think that's their big plan right now. Anaheim hired Coach Q. Very interesting as a person. As a coach, he's great. We'll see what happens. I think at least Zegras is probably on the outside looking in. I do think there's a chance he's on a different team come fall. Boston hired Marco Sturm. That was probably one of my favorite hires. I like Marco Sturm a lot. He's a guy I kind of wish Dallas. I kind of wish was still available when Dallas fired DeBoer. What was I going to say? Who else? Oh, yeah, Chicago, Jeff Blashill. Yeah, I do not like that hire at all. It's a retread as well. Same with Lane Lambert. Do not like that at all. More defensive, and you need offense out of guys like Beniers, and that's just not going to help much. So I think I touched all of that. No. One more. Philly. Talk it.
Oh, yeah.
More defensive, to say the least.
I like it. I know a lot of people don't. I like it. I think
Yeah.
I think he'll be a good fit.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with him. To say the least, I think there is a. I don't know. Oh yeah, and Vancouver, Adam Foote. That is very much to appease Quinn Hughes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Defensive guy. It's very much to appease Quinn Hughes, which like I don't disagree with appeasing your franchise player, especially like if he's threatening to leave at this point, because that's kind of what's happening. So it'll be interesting. You need to get more out of Pedersen. Pia Suter's walking.
Yeah.
They don't want to pay guys who have career years, apparently. That's kind of what's out. The rumor is some other rumors around the league. Dallas is shopping Marchment, Dumba, and Labushkin. Nick Robertson for Mason Marchment. Get it done, boys. Please.
Yeah.
Seems like every team's trying to get better except the Penguins, who seem like they're trying to sell off guys like Raquel and Rust.
Hopefully.
I think Gavin McKenna's a fucking pen by the end of next year anyway. So.
Oh, don't tease me like that. Don't do that to me.
Yeah. You can get a lot for Raquel right now.
You get a lot for Rust too.
Yeah. I mean, what's Rust's contract?
He's a phenomenal leader. 30, he'll get you around 30 goals a year. He could play up and down.
By 5 point. Yeah, that's a really good deal.
Yeah. I think he might have more value than Raquel.
Yeah, only one year apart. Raquel makes like $125K less.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
Locker room guy, Rusty is. So, yeah.
Seems like, the report was Gino is not getting an extension. So
that's a topic for
next year.
Yeah, I'm gonna cry. That's gonna be a really sad day.
Yeah.
He's like my entire reason for even liking hockey. He's like my entire inspiration. So to see his downfall, to see what he's kind of become, even though I fully knew this was gonna happen, his skill set's not meant to transcend age like Crosby was, which sucks. Things like skating, things like IQ on both sides of the puck, strength and stability on your skates. Those are kind of things, and your shot. He has that, but those things can transcend age. And unfortunately, Malkin lacks like most of those things. So he hasn't been holding up too well, as good as Crosby has. And it sucks because all those things were what kind of made me drawn to him. I felt like, coming into playing hockey, starting when I was like 14, I lacked a lot of things, and to see a guy like Malkin, who also, in my opinion, was a horrible skater, didn't play good defense, just a great personality. He was just an inspiration to me. I loved everything about his game, who he was as a person, what he's been through, and it's going to be a tough one to see him walk. In all honesty, I'm not really looking forward to that.
He's going to be 39 by the start of next season.
Exactly. Like, I'm not looking forward to seeing him walk, but this is the reality of it. That was bound to happen. So
50 points in 68 games. Wow.
He can put up points. He can also let up a ton as well, though. Right now, as always. But yeah,
great.
I'd love to see him
Hall of Famer easily.
What is that?
Easily Hall of Famer.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's Hall of Famer, no doubt. I love the guy.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. Pens, at least right now, they have a lot of moving parts to them for this offseason. So you're going to see Rucker McCordy. You're going to see Billy Koivunen, who looked amazing at the end of last year. So
we're going to see a lot more Pickering. We're going to see a couple other guys. I'm trying to think.
Ryan Graves.
Yeah, unfortunately, probably. But yeah. Well,
trying to think if there's anything else.
Yeah, no, I think we're good. Alrighty. Let me get out of here. All right. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you guys in the next one.